This is Ian from EasyGenie, and recently I had a couple of videos about the 23andMe data hack and the other hacks that have affected other genealogy companies over the year, including MyHeritage, FamilySearch, and Ancestry. And I came down pretty hard on these companies saying that, I never upload a GenCom to any of these services. I don't trust them. I never will, because these incidents will keep on coming. And people may be thinking, well, that's not really realistic, because if you are a genealogist, of course you need to be using these services for your research and for connecting with people and other reasons. And indeed, in a newsletter that I wrote about this particular incident, the 23andMe hack, I did say there's a middle ground that can be reached, because let's be realistic. I mean, the fact that these companies are so careless and irresponsible and poorly managed when it comes to data security, that's undeniable. The news proves that. But on the other hand, as I said in the newsletter, these services are incredibly useful. FamilySearch and Ancestry and the other ones, these are real tools that genealogists can use to research their history. So what is the middle ground that I'm talking about? Well, basically, it means being smart about security. And I have some specific steps that I outlined. Some of them are technology steps, but some of them are also practices with data and information that you control. And what I always say about genealogy is genealogists and family historians, we need to control our data. We cannot trust other parties to be responsible shepherds. And this means basically making sure that we have copies of all of our data, including hard copies of important records, such as a vital record. And then we also need to think carefully about what we want to upload to these services. So for instance, one of my points that I bring up in my newsletter is do not enter the full names, real birth dates, or actual birthplaces of living relatives or yourself, because this data can be used for targeted attacks. So this means that if for instance I have a living relative and let's say I'm using Ancestry.com to plot the family tree, don't put the full names of that living relative there. Just use initials. You can even use like a nickname or something like that. Never put the actual birthplaces of a living relative, because if hackers find that out and they're targeting you, they can use that information to gain access to financial services and to other types of accounts. Because as you know, they often ask like, oh, where were you born? Where was your mother born? These types of questions. So be really, really careful about the data that you do share on these services. And then just think carefully, what is your tolerance for sharing something like a family tree or personal information that might be sensitive, like family history that is important to you, but maybe you don't want people that you don't know looking at it. So really think carefully about how you share information online on these different services, and definitely use them for your own research. For instance, FamilySearch is a fantastic repository of real records that you can use. For instance, census returns and things like that. Ancestry is also useful because maybe you can find somebody who's a distant cousin who's done the research and they've listed the sources that they got that information from. But when it comes to actual living people and other personal information, I never give these services the real information. None of these services will ever know my true birthday. None of them will ever know where I was born. I will never upload it to these particular services. And we've learned that services like Ancestry, they're great. Services like FamilySearch and MyHeritage and different types of services like that are related to DNA, like including 23andMe and Ancestry DNA, they're super useful, but they just can't be trusted to manage our data and treat it responsibly. We have to be shepherds of our own family data. This is Ian from EasyGenie. If this video helped, please take a moment to like it and follow me, and also leave any comments below if you have any ideas or thoughts about this issue. Thank you.